afternoon. I'm Alexandra Klitina, a journalist with Kyiv Post. We're interviewing Victor Dovhan, former Deputy Minister of European Integration in the Ministry of Infrastructure, now acting advisor to the Minister. Good afternoon.
Hi, Sasha. And I would like to introduce as well Sasha. She's as well former Deputy Minister of Infrastructure. Yeah, and look, I'm not current advisor to the Minister. I'm mostly advising to the European Union delegation, basically, not to the Minister of Infrastructure. But yes, in
Okay,
this capacity.
thank you. But I'm sure you're aware. Mr. Dovhan, thank you for your agreeing to talk to Kyiv Post. So here are a few questions that are of interest our readers.
Sure.
How has the Ministry of Infrastructure's work been affected by the war? To what extent was the ministry prepared for enormous challenges posed by the war, and how has it been coping?
All right. No, I think everybody was affected, yes, in our country. And basically, Ministry of Infrastructure is not civil ministry, yes, and in the state of war, in emergency state, all the authorities shall be and are de jure by the Ministry of Defense. So I would maybe mention that the Ministry of Infrastructure, their work is we can see in the result of two agencies: Ukrainian Railway, which is evacuating people, and I think done pretty well. Yes, bringing millions of people from Kyiv, from capital, from eastern regions to the west, and then yes, people got the chance to immigrate to safe European Union, and as well the second option of the railway, and actually what I'm helping with, is to keep economic security of Ukraine, because we have the problem with logistics, exporting our agrarian exports and bringing back diesel, which is crucial both for Ukrainian army and both for Ukrainian farmers, agricultural companies, because without this activity, basically our economy in 6 months will be dead, and we will not have any capacity to fight, yes, in economic sense. And we can see that the Russians pretty well understand this, and they are blocking the ports. The second agency which did well, I think, after it is Ukrainian Road Agency, and we can see it. I personally saw it in Kyiv region, which was liberated by Ukrainian army, and then road agency quickly removed with the help of private companies as well. And I know that they are doing it for free, like pro bono. Yes, it's social input, removing from the tanks, from the destroyed Russian equipment, trying to do temporary bridges to allowing people of Irpin, of Bucha, of Borodyanka to come back. So they're doing well. And I think the main task will be right now of the ministry to do the audit of the destroyed infrastructure objects, and then to verify this audit with international partners, because basically we expect money coming from our friends in the European Union, United States and Canada, and Great Britain, which is not the part of European Union, but maybe one of the best friends right now of Ukraine.
Okay, thank you. Is the ministry getting enough international support? Can you tell us, even diplomatically, what countries are helping the most? Maybe some more countries that you mentioned, and what countries are perhaps creating difficulties?
No, to my knowledge, when we talk about the international cooperation, ministry addressed all the international transport organization to block or exclude Russia from this organization. To some extent, they are successful in some of that. In some of that, they are not, but still, the intention is right. We got in full support from our nearest neighbors. I will not mention maybe Hungary, because we all know the position of the current political authorities in Hungary. But again, all European neighbors are providing support, and even which is more, you know that, for instance, our trucks can cross the border without any permits right now, which is very essential for bringing the humanitarian aid. For This was always a crucial issue with our neighbors, and I think it's good that Ministry of Infrastructure initiated the draft agreement on liberalization of international road transport connection between Ukraine and the European Union countries. So it could be the main achievement on this stage if they manage in as it was promised by Minister Kubrakov in May to sign this agreement. It will mean a lot for Ukrainian exporters, for Ukrainian expeditors, transport companies. With regard to the ports, yes, we got the list of sanctions, and they are like blocking entering of Russian vessels. But I don't think this fifth package of sanctions is enough, because there are a lot of ways to omit the sanctions, and even as you know, probably it was established the group of Yermak McFall group, which was presented recently to State Department, to the head of the State Secretary Anthony Blinken. These proposals, the outcome of the working group, how to increase the sanctions, including as well in the transport sphere.
Mhm. Okay. The railway system of Ukraine is being targeted by Russian forces. What is the level of damage done? Are the railways safe enough to travel for the passengers right now? What about the airports?
No, look, of course, the exact data of the destroyed railway is like confidential, but I think the railway is the safest way to travel, because we see a lot of ambassadors, a lot of prime minister coming from European Union, from United States to Kyiv by railway. So it means they checked it and it's safe. Russians hit the railway because, of course, this is right now where the ports are blocked, and right now it is the main. We do understand we cannot bring heavy weapons by trucks. Yes, so railway is the only way to bring the heavy artillery machines, different kind of weapons, armors to Ukraine. That is why it will be under threat. But again, I think thanks to Ukrainian army, it will be protected. And of course, hitting the railway, Russians try to reach the target to block our exports, because mainly again the exports is conducted through the railway. And I think 2 hours ago, a very important bridge was hit. It's not confidential. It's already public information in Bilhorod-Dnistrovsky. I think they it is destroyed. We don't know the exact um, details, but again, they are hitting this connection with Romania, with Moldova, yes, which was used not actually by Ukrainian army. It was used for the peaceful evacuation aims, and as well for bringing our sunflower oil and grain towards Romania ports to be exported. So we can see that yes, Russians are hitting the railway for this reason as well. With regard to the airports, we observed from the very beginning that they were the main targets, and still they are operating. The level of uh, it's still confidential, and Ukrainian army preserves what airports can be operational. I would say I was myself the first 2 weeks I was in self-defense forces near Kyiv, near Vasilkov, and I saw how the Russians hit actually this military airport, which is rather small, but was very important for the defense of Kyiv. And yeah, right now, Vasilkiv Airport is not operating, but it played very big role in defending Kyiv, because, as you know, they tried to establish the bases in Gostomel. They did it successfully, unfortunately for us, and it resulted in these massacres in the villages near Gostomel, and hopefully Vasilkiv was not captured by Russians. So and maybe I think, to my opinion, it allowed us to still to keep the transport connection through Odessa highway towards Vinnytsia and Western Ukraine, which was the most the most necessary connection for the people and for the food products in Kyiv.
Mhm. How long would it take for Ukraine to recover and start its flights connections again? What do you think after the war?
We saw the very optimistic some low-cost operators starting selling already tickets for June. Yes, but I think as with regard to the ports, my opinion is quite pessimistic. I think till September nothing will happen. We need to stop the active phase of the war, and then, of course, airports which quite in good conditions. I think Lviv airport is quite in good condition. Boryspil was very good protected by Ukrainian forces, so it can start operating. Odessa as well. Yeah, so these three basic airports, which could be operational, but not this summer.
I have a last question for you. Does the ministry has a plan for reconstruction of the infrastructure sector of Ukraine? Is the EU, US, and other countries being ready to support Ukraine and provide international aid?
It's a very important question. You saw last week, last Friday, President issued decree on establishment the National Council for Renewal of Ukraine. And the working groups will be as well on transport infrastructure, on auditing the losses. And it is very important because we do understand we don't have money at all in the budget for the, let's say, restoration of Ukrainian railway, roads, and airports. This money will come, and they were promised in different amounts from our friends, yes, from US, from the European Union. So we can talk about, I think the numbers are quite different, but the mostly used figure is 100 billion euros for the transport infrastructure. In my opinion, it is very important that the audit, which is done by the Minister of Infrastructure, shall be verified by the international experts. And as well, very important that the tender procedures shall be the most transparent. Yes, they should be simplified. Of course, it cannot be 6 months for the tender on restoration of the bridge, but we need definitely to do very transparent, because again, this money, and they will not be as loans, they will be donations, grants from the West, and we need to do the best work for it. Yes, and Europeans, Americans, Canadians, and Brits shall be certain then all the money till the last grivna will go definitely for the reconstruction, not for the different purposes. That is why very important to have the transparent in IFI procedures and good audit.
Okay, thank you for the interview. Slava Ukraini!
Слава, героям слава, Саш. Thank you very much.